There are others around you that have struggled against being classified as a negative stereotype. See, for me, I had to avoid being that cutout of a ghetto black chick and ratchet for most of my life. I was always known as the whitewashed one in every school I went to. Even my own family called me white, even though I'm not sure what it even means to be considered white. Is it the way I speak? Because when we have to speak like so, and this, and I can't still understand me. And why does the color of our skin have to define our worth as people? It seems like in a socially constructed society, people automatically assume what kind of person you are based on your appearance and behaviors. Even if you're considered an educated person, if you look a certain way, there are people who will doubt that intelligence. People doubted my intelligence because I'm a young black woman. Remembering back onto some conversations in particular, I was told my grades don't matter as much because I'm not Asian. My parents don't care as much. That was not the first time someone had said something like that to me. I seem to hear it each and every year. For someone who doesn't procrastinate and puts their all into their studies, that hurt. My mother and auntie have always been strict on me for my grades because they wanted me to go to a university and do well. So to hear from someone who barely knew me to say my parents do not care as much for my schooling, it hit hard. It made me think, are black people supposed to have lowered expectations? Why are we assumed to be dumb, illogical, and have a lack of morale? I'm remembering a time in middle school when people would constantly poke fun at me, call me a nigger, pig cotton, or that I'm an Oreo. Some people even told me that black females are quite unattractive. How wrong does that sound? Generalizing a whole group of people as unattractive. Just walking into certain stores, I was given dirty looks, poor service, and racist comments in their native tongue. After so much frustration and self-hate over being a black female, I would pray, wishing to be something other than black. As shallow as it sounds, when people keep putting you down just because of your skin color, it makes you hate yourself. I'm remembering the days when looking in the mirror just depressed me. It made me happy when my relatives would call me light-skinned because I was further and further away from what others considered unappealing and disgusting. Sometimes I'd even imagine myself being European or Asian, and all the comics I would draw of myself, I'd be as pale as the sketch paper I drew on. Looking back on it, I went through some pretty dark times as those struggles helped me realize who I am as a black female. It took me a long time to get over the self-hate. Even today, I still get pretty defensive whenever people consider me as a stereotype. But I let it go, because expressing your anger, I learned, only motivates those to put you down even more. It enlightens them to poke fun at you, call you weak or uptight. Instead, I learned to toughen my skin and just be me. I'm speaking from the perspective of a black female, but this can easily apply to any person of Asian, Spanish, Native, and European descent. None of you are the same. Even if you came from the same heritage, we all have our own quirks and individuality. For some people, including myself, learning this took a long time. Letting someone plaster a label onto you does not define your worth as a person. Your color does not equal the person you are. You are more than just the pigment on your skin. Living in this time and day, there are opportunities out there for everyone to find themselves and their place in society, instead of having others do that for them. Personally, I've had to reassure myself of this every day, realizing that I'm more than just my appearance. That does not make me more or less fit to choose and reach for my dream. Now for the conclusion, I'll share a bit of rhythm and poetry, also known as rap. yourself. Letting anyone else classify and demotivate you with something that might not even be considered true only should make you work to be stronger and learn to define yourself, keeping your cool, not letting one anger you and make you into a fool. Because there is only one you. Let no one tell you otherwise, and if they do, I think it's time to say I do. Thank you, Harvard.